Hello everyone, I am Sevda İsmayılova, an English teacher at Western Caspian University. In this presentation, I am going to talk about how to write an email. Let's first get started with the structure of an email. Email consists of the following parts: subject line, salutation, introduction, body, and closing. First, I want to show you one example of an email, then I will talk about each part separately. In two lines, you will write your recipient's email address, the email address who you are writing your email to. In from line, you will write your email address, and then there comes subject line. Subject line is what the reader sees in their inbox. If subject line is missing information, your email may not get read. It may even be sent to spam. So it should be informative and complete. And then there comes salutation, introduction, body, and the last one is closing. Now let's talk about salutation. The salutation directly addresses the person you are sending the email to. It is always used in formal email messages, but sometimes skipped in informal messages. And if you have got the person's name you want to send the email to, it is proper to use their name along with any title the person has. Here is a sample for formal salutation for an individual, like Dear Mr. Rose, Dear Mrs. Seville. But if you don't know a person's name or title, it's okay to use this salutation, to whom it may concern. Here are some other examples for salutation. And introduction. The opening of a formal email often requires the sender to introduce themselves. In contrast, informal ones are sent to somebody you know and the introduction isn't needed. Here are some examples for introduction. And this is another example of an introduction. And then there comes body part. Although body contains detailed information, it's important to write clearly in formal emails. Remember that your reader isn't familiar with you and may not be familiar with your topic. Body can be divided into short paragraphs, and the most important ones should come first. Each paragraph must have one main idea. You can use contractions like I am, I don't in informal emails. Don't use them for formal emails. And then there comes conclusion. Conclusion is the last sentence of your email that concludes your message. And here are some samples for conclusion. And this is another example of conclusion. And then there comes closing, salutation. So closing, how you end your email is equally important, since it is the last thing your recipient looks at your email. Closing can leave a lasting impression. A good formal email closing reminds the reader who you are, since it should include your full name, contact information, and title. In contrast, informal email closing may be extremely casual, and it may even omit this part. So here are some examples for closing salutations. And now I want to show you some phrases used for different purposes while writing emails. For saying thank you, you can use the phrases like this: I'm just writing to thank you for, thank you very much for, I'm grateful, very grateful for, thank you a lot for, etc. For responding to questions, you can use this phrase. For giving advice, you can use the phrases like if I were you, I would, have you thought about, I think you should, shouldn't, etc. Giving information, you can use the phrases like this. And for giving good news, you can use the phrases. I am sure you will be pleased to hear that. You will never guess what happened. I'm really glad, happy to hear about. And for giving bad news, you can use the phrases like, I'm sorry to tell you that. Bad news, I'm afraid that. And for asking for help or a favor, you can use the phrases like this. For apologizing, you can use the phrases, these phrases. And now I will show you some examples of emails. And now it's your turn to write email. You have recently joined this website and you have decided to write an email to your new friend based on the given information. Choose a keep all friend, reasons to make friend with him or her, and other relevant details. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention.